Bureau. Public address announcer Andy Storrs. Game number 5 features on the visiting bench the number 13 ranked University of Nevada, Las Vegas Rebels. And on the home team bench, the number 4 ranked Ohio University Bobcats. Let's meet the starting lineups for this morning's game. First, for UNLV, in goal, a sophomore from Alder Grove, British Columbia, number 29, Ben Giesbrecht. On defense, a sophomore from Aurora, Colorado, number 11, Cameron Fink. California, number 28, Sean Plonsky. At center, a freshman from Spokane, Washington, number 7, Paxton Malone. At left wing, a sophomore from Chesterfield, Missouri, number 3, John Moeller. And at right wing, a freshman from Whitby, Ontario, number 23, DeAndre John. The head coach of the Rebels is Anthony Vigneri Greener. His assistants are Nick Raboni and Jeff May. General Manager Z. Kahn, Director of Team Ops Arturo Castro, and Equipment Manager Anthony Napolitano. And now let's meet the starting lineups for the home team bench. The Ohio University Bobcats. In goal, a junior from White House, Ohio, number 30, Jimmy Thomas. On defense, a junior from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, number 11, Jacob Houston. On defense, a junior from Fairfax, Virginia, number 13, Nick Gross. At center, a senior from Commerce Township, Michigan, number 10, Brian Lubin. At left wing, a junior from Worcester, Ohio, number 22, Tyler Harkins. And at right wing, a senior from Northfield, Ohio, number 27, Matthew Rudin. The head coach of the Bobcats is Sean Hogan. His assistant coach is Michael Guggen. The athletic trainer is Phil Brazelovich. Ladies and gentlemen, would you all please rise and kindly remove all caps. And join me, soloist Andy Storrs and organist Carrie Lichtart, in the singing and playing of the Star-Spangled Banner. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
And we welcome you to Frisco, Texas, just north of Dallas, Texas, for the first game of day number 2 of the ACHA Men's Division I National Championship. Baza Chavari on the call alongside Jay Sewell and Ryan Jones, and it's good to be with you again for what actually we're in the tournament right now. The meat of the tournament, the playing games are done. We're the field is set, and we're kind of getting the nitty-gritty of this tournament. So good to be with you both. A rematch of last year, one of the games that we saw UNLV and Ohio, and very, very quickly UNLV, Ryan, we got to see him yesterday, and it was a heck of a game for them to get to this point.
Yeah, it certainly was. And in the big-time moments, you know what they say, big-time players make big-time plays. And Joe Kazipski for the UNLV Rebels coming up with a hat trick in a crucial 4-3 win over Robert Morris University. Kid just played outstanding. Giesbrecht in net today, also with 27 saves on 30 shots, and it was a nail-biter. UNLV kind of came out a little bit sluggish, and they were able to get that spark with the hat trick, something they really, really needed. And they're going to have to come out fast today, just 24 hours after playing that Robert Morris game.
Jay, we'll get to your points for Ohio coming up after our first break here. But it is a rematch, number 4 versus number 13. We thank you for joining us early if you're on the West Coast, 8 a.m. over there. And the first shot on net is saved by Giesbrecht. As we mentioned that just 18 seconds in, the first shot. Jay, we got to see Ohio last year. They're coming in as a number 4 seed again, and some of the things that you like out of them.
Yeah, again, what I love is their defensive core of Houston, number 11, and number 13, Gross. These are offensive defensemen. Houston is actually number 1 in points for the team, and they're very deep. 19 players in double digits in points, and they're very, very balanced.
The shot from Houston is wide of the net, and the rebound was recovered and put on frame by Lubin. Now back out as Houston takes a shove as he just got this one deep. UNLV try to get a quick start as they kind of didn't get one yesterday. They saw Robert Morris get up ahead by a goal. Now trying to play this one back in as Harkins going the other way. Is a shot on goal from Mayer.
Yeah, I tell you, it's nice to see Cameron Fink out here. Last year he went down in this game and with a hip injury and took him out of the tournament. It's really good to see the lad back on the ice and back in this tourney.
Well, Kozubski laid a hit there over at the Ohio blue line, but nevertheless Ohio with the puck now sashaying his way in and just getting in this one deep is Jenkins. Out in front here and a save by Giesbrecht, and rather nicely keeping this game netted at 0. Back all the way down deep. It hopped over the stick of Turnow as Turnow goes back. He's watched there by Malone. And the play goes behind the Ohio net. Now back to Soft, tried to keep this one in the zone. Couldn't do it as a pair of players go back and battle for the puck.
Yeah, we've seen this all tournament long. Both teams come out with lots of energy, and then the game settles down. But, you got all that adrenaline you got to burn out. Usually takes a player at least 1, sometimes 2 shifts to get back into the game. And you can see that with Ohio. They're gripping the stick a little bit, and Nevada is just flying.
You give the edge right now just to Nevada because they already played a game, and especially at this time yesterday.
Yeah, they at least got a full day's rest, and we'll see what happens. But yeah, it's a long tournament. And now again, Ohio's iced the puck, and it's going to be a face-off down in their zone.
I think this is going to be a big key for Nevada as their face-off plays today. Just executing winning draws and getting quick shots in on the Ohio netminder Thomas, and it's just going to be super important because I think that Ohio, once they kind of settle in, find their game, they will be the better team today. I mean, Ohio is a completely stacked roster, so UNLV is going to need all the luck they can.
Fink now walking in from the blue line, and he sends this one in looking for the stick. I believe that was of Lawson. Fink now just kind of guides back toward Ohio's blue line and up ahead for Lamperin. Lamperin gives it up for a teammate, walking in there, and a shot on frame and saved by Giesbrecht. Now play goes the other way as Mayer's rubbed into and canceled out rather rudely by Baird. Back goes Hazel into the corner and tried to get it out, but it was cut off there by Cefalos.
Yeah, this is going to be a track meet all day, and when you're going that fast and both teams are physical, we're going to see some interesting collisions today.
There were some interesting collisions yesterday too. I believe one of this one comes out of play. We did see one of the referee doors kind of come unhinged after a hit. I believe that was a Missouri State game.
Yeah, it's again, Ohio has got, as Ryan said, a very stacked deck. But fortunately for them, their captain is scratched for this game. I don't know what that does for their leadership, but I'm sure he's hanging out and making sure the boys rally.
Baird with the puck. He tried to get this one deep, but it hit a couple of players, and now just pitchforked in by, I believe that was Singley. Of course, Jimmy Thomas, the goaltender for Ohio. He's been marvelous this year. We'll get to his stats as we get the next stoppage. Now played back for Turiyumi. Turiyumi had now back for Williams and up ahead by Kozubski, who had a hat trick yesterday.
It's going to be a big deal for UNLV, making sure that they can break out of the zone early on in that game yesterday against Robert Morris. Even short passes, trying to do cross-ice passes, we're getting intercepted left and right, and bad turnovers in the neutral zone or in your defensive end can be crucial against your success.
Ohio has ice the puck. Just really quickly going over the goaltenders. Jimmy Thomas over there, 29 games played, a record of 18-4, 186 goals against average, 6 shutouts on the year, and a .929 save percentage throughout the year. Kind of been Ohio's backstop for the last handful of years. Done a good job for them.
Yeah, and he's going to see some rubber today. Again, I think what Ryan said, lots of short passes. Oh, we got a penalty, come tripping call against Nevada.
And that'll put Ohio on the power play for the first time today. Just shy of 4 minutes elapsed in this first period.
Yeah, some of those are just, it's inadvertent, but a trip nonetheless. You stick that stick out trying to get to the puck, and the player's keeping his legs moving, and that's what coaches want. If you're going to draw that penalty, that's the way to do it. Keep your legs moving, and you'll pick up that penalty.
Well, the opposite of that usually the case of how you take a penalty. Gross with those cross eyes here for Houston. Back to Gross. And near side for Evangelisti, who almost snuck one by. Good save there by Giesbrecht. Where Gross will take it now for Evangelisti. Back to Gross. A shot block there.
What an effort. Great effort there.
Sent down there by Rea.
Yeah, both teams are so well coached. You can see how they're playing, and they're trying to get a full court press in here on Ohio and make them enter the. Oh, that was almost knee on knee.
Yeah, and Evangelisti a little trying to skate this one off. Up and finally out of the zone, but knifed down there by Frank. Frank now with it. Excuse me, that wasn't Frank. That was Harkins. That's Gross, who has to use his net as protection as he circles back and tries to get this power play restarted with about just over a minute left. With it is Houston. Houston was looking for Rudin, who was camped out in the slot. Fink rubbed someone off there, and now this one will come back all the way for Corney. Corney, Harkins, Hazel. Hazel to Houston, a shot there, and they score!
Wow.
Beautiful passing there by the Bobcats, just tape to tape, and just created a great shooting lane, great opportunity, and Ohio up 1-0 early. What a start for the Bobcats.
Yeah, Giesbrecht never saw that puck. You could tell he was peeking to his left, but it did come up over his shoulder, and again, massive power play to start.
As we take a look at the replay here, out in front, and
so total screen.
Looks like that might have got deflected by a UNLV player.
Yeah, it looked like it was changed a little bit of the angle, didn't it?
Sure did. Nevertheless, 1-0 for Ohio early before the 5 minute, or just after the 5 minute mark. Excuse me. This one sent down in, and looking at his Thomas as he just swats at it and gets it back in the corner, played in by UNLV as play goes in the corner.
Yeah, I can't tell you how crucial, no matter what level of hockey you're playing, that first goal is and how you play the rest of the game.
First goal, all important. The nice thing about it is there's still more than 2.5 periods of hockey to play, so plenty of time for UNLV to atone for it. But if you turn the puck over like that, it'll make it really hard as Picorni got the shot on net.
Yeah, it looks like Giesbrecht might have his work cut out for him today. The Ohio boys looking like they are buzzing right now, creating some great opportunities.
Yeah, a little momentum going there, and they also have a very, but goalies like the work. They don't like to be stagnant and just standing around and making a skate.
Play goes in the corner here. Ohio with all the possession, almost reminiscent of yesterday's game. UNLV and Robert Morris now with the puck. UNLV going to try to maintain some offensive zone time. They do make the zone and carrying it in, and trying to get Jimmy Thomas to slide over was, I believe that was Mayer over there as the puck still trickled out in front. Getting tripped up there was an Ohio player in Rudin.
Yeah, there's just a battle going on in front of the net right now. Bodies flying.
This one going off the end boards. The boards here have been kind of funky to say the least as Thomas makes a save.
Yeah, we've seen that at our home rink at the University of Utah. You know, those boards really create some funky bounces. So as the tournament goes on, it'll be interesting to see how these guys kind of learn the boards and use them to their advantage.
Oh, and we do have a penalty here and some couple of shoves, exchanges, maybe just to wake each other up.
Yeah, it's an early morning, and they're out of school for the tournament, and time to discuss your GPAs.
Midterms over with, a couple final papers.
Yeah. Well, this is, again, you can tell this is a U.S. rink. They've got the doors to the benches on the neutral ice. If you were fortunate enough to play in Canada, the visitors bench door always opens into the offside, and it's always an interesting way they set it up. They always give their home team an advantage in a Canadian rink. I guess America is just a little more neutral in that respect. Or they have something to learn.
Little gamesmanship up north.
Oh, absolutely.
And Thomas will come back and play this out as Hazel will gather and sent it into the legs of Harkins. Still in the Ohio zone. A shot here by Plonsky. Plonsky will go D to D for Rhea. Now Plonsky just tries to get this one deep, and Ohio just covering all the shooting lanes right now.
Yeah, in a tournament setting, you got to get bodies in front of pucks, do whatever it takes to get you to that next round.
A nice toe drag.
Moeller with a stick lift there, but Ohio will get this one out of the zone with some speed. It was Jenkins. Jenkins got canceled off there, but rebounds nicely, and this puck goes off the crossbar. Could have been a 2-goal game immediately. Back the other way is John. John rubbed it in the corner. Canceled out there by Baird.
I'm always interested in the college level that the PK unit actually tries to check people. All you do is take yourself out of the play.
A soft, nice knifes this one back in, but just sent back to the opposing blue line. Ohio does come in, and the save by Giesbrecht to keep this a 1-goal game with 12:02 left in period number 1.
Do you think there's any carryover in knowing and familiarity? I know some people are new to both teams, and some people have aged out of the team, but they're starting to get a little chippy with each other, which is going to make it a fun game for us to call.
I think if you're UNLV, you always have postseason loss in your mind. I think you always try to avenge it, especially when the other team's pretty similar to yours in terms of who you saw the following year.
And the Rebels always play that kind of game. They always play the edge game, which is really fun to watch and as a fan.
You could say they're borderline rebellious sometimes. Huh?
Oh, that was very punny.
Yeah, I think Ohio, though, coming out trying to establish tempo, establish pace, throwing out some big hits, and UNLV, like you said, big physical team. They're not going to take so kindly to that. So it'll be interesting to see how guys can keep their emotions in check, not take a bad penalty, and put their teams on the shorthand.
Well, Gross with the puck up ahead and was looking for the stick of Singley. Couldn't find it. UNLV comes back the other way. John circles back and has to evade a couple of his own defensemen. As getting this one deep is Harrison.
Yeah, I'd say that's off. He pulls it back on, play on.
Knifed up ahead, and probably be a high touch here.
Yeah, I guess we're up here, but that looked shoulder high. It did not look like a high stick, but they're going to slow the pace down. Maybe the refs need a break. This is a fast pace. I mean, they've been skating hard. Yeah, and I have to give a shout out to the ACHA and the refereeing crews that they put together for this tournament. It's just always outstanding. Yesterday maybe a couple of icing calls that you might have asked, but it had nothing to do with the actual play and penalties. They're letting the boys play, and they're calling the penalties only when there's a hockey play to be made.
Matt Thomas tried to slow this one down, but going back and grabbing it is Harkins. Harkins tried to play it out. It was cut off there by Williams. Williams sends this on frame. Kozubski into the corner, looking for possibly a 4th goal in this tournament, but not before Ohio takes this and comes back the other way. Ohio in the white and green, UNLV in the black and red, as Giesbrecht will stop this with 10:54 left.
Yeah, he's seen enough. He wants to make sure that he gets everything set, because you could tell by what was happening. They had Ohio had a cruising coming up the right side of the ice that was unmatched. Nobody picked him up, and I'm sure the goalie, they always have that great peripheral vision, and he was able to see that. Let's just stop right here.
Sometimes the goalie's got to be the smartest player on the rink.
Well, back in the old days when you played rink hockey, you know, when we were kids playing shinny in Minnesota, you know, you always it was always a who wanted to play goal. Now the goalie's the best athlete on the team.
Toriumi in a shot that was saved and turned away by Thomas. Now with it goes Lamprin. Lamprin up ahead for Picorni. Picorni has Lamprin, a shot that probably sticked away by Giesbrecht. Sounded like it at least, and a shot by Lamprin that was deflected wide. Hazel will just send this one back deep as a couple of Ohio players peel off for their change. Picorni comes in, near side hash marks, watched by a trio of Rebels. And Picorni feeds this one in deep where Rubin is there. Picorni looking for the backhand attempt. And coming over to pick this one up was Moeller, and Moeller finally get this one out. And now Moeller shoots this on frame and just rather easily blockered away by Thomas. Sent deep and no ice here as the Soft will go back and play this.
Yeah, it's going to be one of those games where it's a challenge to even get to the bench. If you were watching and got to see the bench, UNLV player was trying to make sure the Ohio guy did not get off the ice.
Could argue interference on that. And a nice save by Giesbrecht as he had to deal with some traffic and skaters coming by.
Yeah, I think what we're going to see in this game, yesterday, 4 fun games to watch. Last game was a nail-biter.
Yeah, we'll take a break here. Our media timeout after the first 10 and a half, 1-0 Ohio.
The 2019 ACHA National Championships are brought to you by Aries Sportswear, official merchandise partner of the ACHA. Howie's Hockey Tape, the official tape provider of the ACHA. And the City of Frisco.
And back at the Comerica Center in Frisco, Texas. After 10 and a half minutes of hockey, Ohio finds themselves up by 1. And so far been an eventful game. A lot of hard hitting, but also, we did see a goal early.
Yeah, and as we talked about, that's kind of crucial to set the tone. It was interesting because in the first 2 minutes, UNLV came out flying, but I don't think they're going to stop. This is a speed game, and you're going to have to make, as Ryan said earlier in the broadcast, there's got to be a lot of quick passes because the fastest skater on the ice is that puck.
Right, and we've had great pace to start the day here. I think Ohio State really kind of laying the wood right now to UNLV, so I think, after a game just only 24 hours ago that was pretty physical between Robert Morris. It'll be interesting to see how UNLV can keep up with this pace and the physicality from the Bobcats.
Face-off win by the Bobcats as Asaf will go behind his own net to play this. Now for Cody Williams, who kind of lost this one in his skates, as Lubin battles Asaf in the corner, and we have a pair of, call them 4 players, 2 from each side, as
yeah, as any player who's ever played, having that puck in your feet is the worst feeling in the world. It just handicaps. It pulls your elbows in. There's nothing you can do about but try and kick it away.
That's where the soccer skills come in.
Knockdown right at a turnover.
And now with the puck there is Fink. Fink finally gangles this one out. Gross will just get this one in front of the UNLV bench. And now finally back, we're waiting for it is Lubin. Lubin was looking to pass it still, or excuse me, that's Houston, and now ahead for Evangelisti. Evangelisti to group. Soccered up ahead and now back in deep, and we've seen a lot of time in the UNLV zone.
Yeah, and I think that starts with some of this Bobcat neutral zone plays, that they're intercepting passes and they're not forcing things through the neutral zone. They're regrouping. They're making sure their passes are crisp and they're getting pucks deep. It's something that every team practices every day.
Plonsky tried to keep this one in after he found a puck after it bounced off an Ohio player. Now into the zone goes Lawson. Lawson looking for some support. Doesn't find it, but still has the puck. It's finally not knifed off of his stick there by Craddock. And a weird angle shot that Jimmy Thomas just looks at as it flies by in front of his crease.
Yeah, that was nice patience by UNLV. It didn't amount to anything, but it's funny, the better you get and the faster the game in the player's head, it actually slows down.
Now back with it is Houston, and UNLV still with the puck, finally spending some time in the Ohio zone. Still looking for a handful of shots. They only have 5. compared to Ohio 7. Of course, one of Ohio's shot was a goal. Now one of the zone goes Harrison.
That was a beautiful hit.
Stares him down, too.
He's standing right over the top of him.
You got to love that
Another
when a
one.
guy's coming to try and light you up. Big play here
Great
for
4-on-1. Nice back check.
And it was laid out in front, but Ohio couldn't convert and still sent out in the slot. Kind of dangerous times if you're UNLV. You might say they're rolling the dice in this game right now. Malone with a shot saved by Thomas.
I love you.
The roulette wheel is spinning.
Get it, Vegas? Get it?
You got to throw it in somehow. 6:48 left in period number 1.
Yeah, I got to tell you that
dangerously.
this Vegas program in the last 4 years going from D2 to D1 has really come alive. And if you look at their roster in comparison to Ohio, I mean, there's just they've just got a lot of kids sitting that are inactive. I mean, I'm looking at almost 10 inactive players. So they've got a very, very deep group to continue to get their way into this tournament every year.
Yeah, I think with the addition of the Knights, you can say Vegas is officially a hockey town.
And Moeller took one off the brain bucket. His teammate was trying to send it in. It just went off his helmet. He pulled off, kind of checking his helmet to make sure it's still, I guess, legal would be the right term. You want to be playing with a cracked helmet.
Yeah, this isn't that amateur where they have to make sure every one of your stickers is still on and not peeled off. It's going to be offside.
And Woodward was still in there, and UNLV has to regroup and get on side, and it gives time for UNLV to set up the breakout as Baird now with the puck. Finally out of his own zone, sends this one deep as they'll get a fire whack and change. Fink trying to generate it out, comes here near side for Plonsky.
Yeah, as you pointed out, Ryan, the neutral zone is really tough right now for it'll be interesting to see if Las Vegas continues to try and get out of their zone by starting from the inside of the blue line rather than pushing it up to the neutral zone.
Looks like UNLV trying to generate a lot of their scoring opportunities from behind the Ohio net. This one kind of just drubbed on in, and Fink will play this for UNLV. Come near side, boards up, and finally out of the zone where Baird's waiting for it at his own blue line.
Yeah, got to show them their stick. If you're coming up ice, you got to give them something to shoot at. Just don't turn your back to the puck carrier.
This one just shot right into Singley, as he just got in the passing lane.
Another turnover.
Was looking for Harkins, and back the other way goes Kozubski. Kozubski with a nifty move here. He fires, and a save by Thomas, and keeps the lead for Ohio.
You could just see that, what the confidence that instilled in Kozubski. I mean, the guy's a maniac of a player anyways, but to try something like that and create a scoring opportunity for yourself, it's just a beautiful thing to see.
Yeah, he left a decoy out there, which was perfect. So you got the goalie wondering, is it the shooter or the passer?
Well, when you're feeling it, you're feeling it. And Kozubski, especially after last night's game or yesterday's game, probably feeling it pretty heavily right now. Back the other way goes Evangelisti.
3-on-2.
And the shot saved by Giesbrecht, as he's had to make a lot of saves here. Had to fight through a couple of tough shots.
Yeah, it's just a wide open game right now. I mean, these are, if you're a fan of hockey, this is an adult junior game, if I can call it that. Sounds like an oxymoron, but these kids are 21 or older. They're playing their last competitive hockey, and compared to the NCAA, in my opinion, great hockey, and those kids can move on, but it's soft.
Oh, Malone lost it. Backing into the zone goes.
I like the idea there.
Yeah. Finally back here near side Jenkins. Jenkins at the near side hash marks. Rubbing in the boards, and now Moeller will take this.
I got 3-on-2.
And it's going to be Malone with a shot and saved by Thomas.
What a nice pass by Moeller, getting it into the zone, kind of faking him out, going on that backhand pass to create the opportunity.
Yeah, but you wonder if the number 7 should have gone deeper and seen his options. When you got a 3-on-2 like that, yeah, I like the shot, but the way the goalie's playing, he's absorbing everything. He's giving up no rebounds, so you don't have that trailer to pick up the rebound. So go deep, turn around, see the full sheet of ice, see how many black jerseys are coming your way for puck support. But again, that's a little bit of that first period jitters. You want to make something happen.
And Houston will go D-to-D after the face-off win for the Bobcats. Finally up and out of the zone. Was looking for Lubin as they tried to stretch it a little bit. Now Lubin with the puck. And into the Rebel zone. He was hooked a little bit. Was looking for a player up in the slot in the form of Rudin. Lawson will pick this one from the corner. And pass was intended for Williams. It's a little bit behind.
Yeah, and you're going to call off icing there, and that guy took a saunter rather than a skate to the puck.
Thomas left it behind his own net. Finally out of the zone by Houston. Recovered by Plonsky, who went D-to-D for Fink. Fink from the red line. And Fink to the Ohio zone. Fink to a circle and a shot that was well high. And then it hopped over the stick of Mayer, where Fink comes back and grabs it. Now here near side for Plonsky, who enters the zone. Plonsky, a weird angle shot sticked away by Thomas, and then he was canceled out by Hazel in the corner.
Ohio's doing a good job of boxing out front, and they're making UNLV shoot from the outside. Those are always tough angle shots.
Angled out of the zone, and this one will go for icing. The Bobcats have iced the puck.
Just 2:50 left here in the first period. It feels like it has just flown by. The pace of this game compared to UNLV and Robert Morris and some of the other games yesterday, you can just tell these guys, as the closer they get to that championship game, the more and more fast-paced we're going to get.
Cody Williams now walks in, a feed into the slot, but no one was home, and maybe even hoping that he had a teammate there for that far post.
What I've been impressed by is UNLV's speed after yesterday. They are actually, outrunning.
Got it.
Oh,
there it is.
On a no goal here as it was waved off.
Was the net off or was it interference? But the net is off.
UNLV thought they had a goal.
Looks good. We'll see if they'll end up wanting to take a look at this.
Yeah, when did the net come off? Yep, they're coming over to take a look.
Well, at least they're going to talk about it first before they go in. And this tournament already has seen a couple of replay reviews, but first, I think the important thing is we actually have the refs talk about it as we take another look at this. And that net was off before.
Oh, net's off.
Net was off well before. I think it was on the wraparound attempt that net came off.
Yeah. That post, all 4 games yesterday, it's that far post to the blocker side has come off all day. I was actually hoping they turn the temperature down in the rink and froze that whole area. But it has literally been every single game that post has been coming off. A lot, not just once or twice, but all period long.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to take a look at this, but I think I'm going to assume this is a quick review because you can see the net clearly off.
Yeah.
And hopefully we get one more look at that. But what we're going to look at is this review, and I think they are coming over. But we take a look at this, you're going to see the net come off well before that wraparound attempt and then the rebound. So that should technically negate any opportunity off of that.
Yeah, but I think even still, as much of a bummer it would be for UNLV for this not to get overturned and be allowed as a goal, is you got to like Cody Williams making a play right there with the wraparound. He had 2 assists in last night's game, and then you have a wealth of Rebels going hard and crashing the net, and that's going to be a good way to beat this Bobcat goalie who's been on fire so far.
Yeah, Thomas so far, he's seen 9 shots from UNLV so far, have kept everything out. I don't think this would count as shot on goal. As we take a look at it right now, you can see the net come off. It's moorings, and it was actually
it was Williams
who knocked it off. Yeah,
that's an unfortunate break for UNLV for sure.
Well, and UNLV just saw the replay too, as they take the same look that you are. The coaches are taking a peek at it, and right there, well before the shot attempt.
Yeah, but again, the interesting thing is the puck is still behind Jimmy, and that also helps with a little bit of your confidence.
Yeah, look, just love that frame right there. You got 3 black sweaters that are going hard to the net. Ohio in good positioning, but it's going to be an unfortunate break for UNLV.
Yep, net's off.
Puck in.
Where is it? Yep, there's the puck sliding. You can see it. Yeah, net's off.
Nice job by our camera crew getting those angles today.
A solid camera crew. Of course, we only use replay here at the national championship level, and it does help out, especially on calls like this. I mean, most of the time it confirms what the refs have seen.
Right. I mean, these guys are correct a majority of the time. That's why they get called up to do these high-level games. But then to just make sure that you can say conclusively whether or not, because these calls are huge, especially at this stage, and for what it means to these players.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we kind of forget about that third team out there, and when something catastrophic happens, they usually get the blame. But I don't think these guys in the stripes get enough credit for when they do a good job and make a call like this on the ice. And I think we, as sports fans, kind of forget that they, this is their profession, and they take it as serious as the players do.
It's a tough job. I mean, you're blamed for the calls you make, and you're blamed for the calls you don't make, and so it's a rock hard place, and you have to have a really thick skin. There's some really, really passionate people in this sport, as everyone knows. It's a warrior's game. I mean, it's we talked about just Old Testament, eye for an eye. You shove me, I shove you. You punch me, I punch you. Yeah. And it's you put somebody in a bunch of armor. You give them a weapon and say, hey, within these boundaries and these goalposts of the rule, see what you can do.
Yeah, taking an extra long look at this, it's kind of interesting to see how these final 2 minutes and 34 seconds are going to play out after such a fast-paced period. Now you guys kind of cool off for a second, maybe joking around on the bench as you wait for this call to come through and see how it affects this last 2.5. Here we go.
So they are coming out, and it is a goal.
It's a goal.
Well, what do we know?
Well, there's the coach. He's pretty upset.
Yeah, Ohio's coach.
But we can't see what they saw on the other side.
Yeah. I mean, that's great for the Rebels. Notch it up 1-1. And that's why we were saying these guys are the best, some of the best at what they do. Is they clearly saw something that we didn't. So I think the goal will be credited to Williams, who will net his third point of the tournament. And we got a tie game here with 2:34.
So Sean Hogan visibly upset, and we had a little bit of discussion with both officials as the goal will come at 17:27 of period number 1, the equalizing goal. I think it's going to be Cody Williams who'll get the call on it. We'll check in with PA announcer Andy Storrs as he makes his announcement and give that to you as soon as he does.
Yeah, this puts the game back in wide open territory, and then both teams are flying. They're both well coached and very, very disciplined. We've only had the one penalty, and it was almost an inadvertent trip. It's a.
Now sent back, and Jenkins will take it up for Ohio. I was looking for Craddock, and it was just over his stick as Giesbrecht will play it, and he was watched by a couple of Bobcat players, and Jake kind of shaking his head here. We know he loves goalies that stay in the net.
One-on-one here.
By number 22, Tristan Mayer at 17:26. UNLV goal scored by Kozubski, assisted by Mayer at 17:26.
There you go, a 4-goal man. He's the star of the tournament so far. I'd give him tournament honors.
So far, he's probably in the lead for it as Lubin comes in, and it was a blockered away by Giesbrecht. Now up ahead where the puck goes Williams. Turnover here as Harkins tried to fire a shot off, or at least just get it somewhere deep. Losing his edge there was one of our linesmen. And turned over here by UNLV. Now Woodward as we enter the last 60 seconds of period number 1. Glove down by Williams, D to D. Up ahead for Woodward. Woodward here near side. It didn't get all the way there. There wasn't enough wood on it as Houston tried to get this one deep. Soft behind his own net, reverses, and then loses an edge as this one sent in the slot here, and it was canceled out as we are going to have a stoppage here.
Yeah, and that's off again. Ref's got his arm up, holding up play. Yeah, this pace, you can just tell Ohio's a little torqued by that call. And they're going to go into the locker room, and Hogan, what happens in the locker room right now is all about Hogan. What does he say? How does he get his players to focus when they're all want to call, say what happened, and it's his job now to make sure that team settles down.
And the puck laid out in front of the net, over just outside of the crease. Back the other way goes Moeller. Moeller tried to generate some speed. This one was rejected, but just sent right back in where Thomas will play it behind his net. And we are going to have a penalty. It looks like it's going to be against Ohio.
1, 2.
That's going to be Ohio and Lubin, the guilty party.
Looks like something happened behind the play. I mean, the bench was up in arms there. And
yeah, big slash.
Well, of course, if UNLV can get a goal in the next 20 seconds, they'll find themselves up by 1 goal going in the dressing room. Otherwise, they'll take a carryover power play of 1:40.
And it's so nice to have that power play on a fresh sheet where the puck just glides. I mean, you can really move the puck around. You can see all the snow around Jimmy's net down there. He's just got a bank on each side of his net to try and slow that puck down. And I'm surprised the ref hasn't made him remove that. Sometimes the refs, you can see these guys build up around the post, and refs are technically supposed to discourage that.
Marc-Andre Fleury, 2 months ago. This one sent the full 200 feet, and maybe one last rush for the Rebels as we're into the last 10 of period number 1.
Yeah, that's interesting. It's the first time I have not seen a sense of urgency by the UNLV Rebels. Oh,
maybe a trip to end the period, but regardless, UNLV gets one after the review, and Ohio gets one early, and that's how period number 1 ends. And a 1-1 game in game number 5, game number 1 for today's game. And a couple of words being exchanged over at center ice right now.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting that the players have to walk down the same tunnel. It's almost like, in Notre Dame Stadium where, the home team's got to eyeball the visitors as they walk through their house. Kind of an interesting setup here that both teams have to go through the same tunnel.
Yeah, so after a great first period with a lot of pace and some goals for both sides, Ohio coming out quick, UNLV with that answer. It'll be interesting to see, like you said, Jay, how does Ohio kind of take that momentum that they had, and then now that they maybe have lost, how do they deal with that? Because it's just as a mental game as it is a physical game. So it'll be very interesting to see how they come out to start the second.
After the first 20 minutes, the game's after a pair of goals, it's still netted up at 1, and we'll send it over to our intermission team with Casey and Sam after the short break.
Yeah, they're everywhere.
Yeah,
that's what I had to do last night. Check. Everybody got me? Got me? Check.
There are a few things that come along that change the course of history. Inventions or developments that reshape society. They usually aren't appreciated at first. In fact, they're often scoffed at. What good will that be?
Hello? Hi.
Surely that can't be practical.
Loves to see you.
But then, slowly, over time, the greatness of these achievements become manifest.
Hi!
Until one day, you ask yourself how you ever lived without them. That's the nature of turning points. They bring us to new roads and new heights. They open doors we never thought possible. So it's important that we go forward together.
I'm here with Gina.
That our growth
She's okay.
might not just benefit the great, but the good also. In small ways, and in grand ones.
Dad.
The test of our progress is not whether we add more to the abundance of those who have much. It is whether we provide enough for those who have too little.
At Wilson Electronics, we push every day to amplify the power of communication, to connect those who love and those who cannot live without it.
Enter the workforce with an edge with a Bachelor of Science degree in Mechanical Engineering from the University of Jamestown. With this undergraduate program offered at our Jamestown campus, you'll benefit from smaller class sizes, more one-on-one time with our caring and committed faculty, and a core curriculum designed to enhance communication skills with state-of-the-art labs and software. Become a more well-rounded critical thinker as an engineer with a Mechanical Engineering degree at the University of Jamestown.
From the Comerica Center in downtown Frisco, Texas, the 2019 American Collegiate Hockey Association Division I National Championships. Game number 1 of day 2, UNLV against Ohio University. One of the crazier first 20 minutes you will see in period play so far this tournament. Glad you can join us. Casey Roll with you alongside Sam Fleming and partner. Just wow. That's all I'm going to say. Wow for that first 20. The first goal scored a beauty, but the last 3 some minutes, a lot of controversy and something that might be a key storyline possibly through the rest of the tournament.
Yeah, what a great first game yet again we see to start the day off. Yesterday it was UNLV who played in that incredible game against RMU Penn, but they come out here against a tough Ohio team, the 4-time national champion Ohio Bobcats. Ohio gets out to an early lead, but again, that controversial goal at the end, again from Joe Kozubski. We'll see how much that plays a factor, but again, it's UNLV keeping in this game. They needed to have a little bit better of a game, and they played really well in that second half of the period. We'll see how that translates heading into the second.
The goal for Kozubski is his 4th of the tournament. He leads all skaters in goals scored so far amongst Division I scores, and the goal that Sam was talking about occurred at the 2-minute and 45-second mark, and according to the NHL rule book, Rule 63.6, an awarded goal in the event of the post being hit off its moorings, it says, and quote, in order to award a goal in this situation, the goal post must have been displaced by the actions of a defending player, the puck must have been shot, or the player must be in the act of shooting. In this case, it was so. At the goal prior to the goal being displaced, and it must be determined entered the net between the normal position of the goal post. So the officials were conversing for a good 3-4 minutes, and after conversing and after an official ruling, they thought the goal would have been scored if the net would have been off its moorings, and at that point it's 1-1.
Yeah, Jimmy Thomas was all the way to the other side of the net, so a wide open net for Joe Kozubski to put it home. But again, it was Cody Williams who was working it behind the net and wrapped it around out front. And that's when the net came off. If you watch the replay, Jacob Houston was battling down low with Cody Williams and got his stick caught in the net. That pulled the net off. The puck was sitting right there. Kozubski a tap home goal. And after a long review, second time UNLV has been involved in a game with a review. We remember the RMU game yesterday. A key moment that RMU could have easily gotten a game goal to tie that game up, maybe get within one. I can't quite remember. But if they get that goal, it might be a tie game, and the UNLV is going to overtime. This one, though, is a little different because of the level of the matchup. Again, a rematch from last year, and UNLV looks like they have a little bit of a better hand after getting that goal. But this rivalry game, you have it has a different feel to start this this afternoon. Again, a lot of these games expected to be a little bit wider in the goal margin. I think this is going to be one of the closer ones.
So what you're saying is that UNLV should stop playing the first game of a day on tournament play is what you're trying to say?
Maybe a little bit, but
just maybe. Just maybe. Maybe they'll play game 2 tomorrow. That'll do it for us. 1-1 our score between Ohio and UNLV after the first 20 minutes. We send it now back to the studio and for the rest of the action between the Bobcats and the Rebels from downtown Frisco.
Rebels take chances and inspire action. Rebels are daring and diverse, curious and creative. Rebels are different, and in our differences, we come together to discover, to innovate, to succeed in a community like no other. We are UNLV. We are Rebels, the University of Nevada, Las Vegas.
Come on! You know the answer. You studied for this. Come on. Timmy! Come on, Timmy. You got this, son. Pencil to paper. Focus. Come on, Timmy. Focus. Focus. Take the puck. Here you go. Skate! Skate! Pass it! You call that a pass? What are you doing? You missed the puck! Come on!
You deserve an extraordinary university experience, and that is Ohio University. We're a national leader in Fulbright award-winning students with professors dedicated to your future success. We've won 38 Pulitzer Prizes, a Nobel Prize in Chemistry, and were awarded 9 new patents in 2017 alone. We're the most exciting band in the land and home to the most beautiful campus on earth. Choose the extraordinary experience. Choose Ohio University.
Back from the Comerica Center. Second set about to get underway between Ohio and UNLV. 1-1 our score through the first 20 minutes of play from downtown Frisco. Alongside Sam Fleming, I'm Casey Roll. SF, we were talking moments ago about the first 20 minutes. Some controversy, a great goal by Ohio, but another goal by UNLV to tie things up. What can we expect from these next 20?
Well, Ohio's got a little bit of a power play left, a minute 41 to work with to start it. After giving up that goal where they were pretty positive that wasn't a goal, but again, it's part of the rules. They have a chance to retake the lead. We know how good Ohio is in these tight game scenarios. Look for Ohio to try to get back to the way they started this game, keeping it simple, but also UNLV. Could they get a little speed going?
We'll see whether or not the mentality of that last goal shifts the period and the momentum. In the second, we send it back to our studio, and we get ready for the second period between Ohio and UNLV on the ACHA network.
Period 2 here at the Comerica Center, a 1-1 game after the first 20 minutes of hockey. We do have a scoring change from UNLV, and then we'll get the rules clarification on why that goal did stand. But the UNLV goal was actually changed so that it was number 9, Cody Williams, who scored the goal, assisted by Joe Kozubski, and then number also 22, and Tristan Mayer. The clarification we did get in the intermission, Ryan, you do have that.
Yeah, so the rule change is for an awarded goal in the event that the goalpost is displaced either deliberately or accidentally by a defending player prior to the puck crossing the goal line between the normal position of the goalpost, the referee may award a goal. So they looked at it, they said Thomas or one of the other Ohio Bobcat players must have knocked off the net, and because Cody Williams was still in the act of shooting on the wraparound, and where the puck crossed the line, because the post was still close enough to being in place, and the puck would have gone into the net regardless of where the net was. The ref can go in, take a look at it, and award a goal, which is exactly what they did, and that's the explanation that they gave to us up here in the booth.
On Barrett and Woodward are going at it. We haven't even started the period. But nevertheless, tied up game, and Ohio will start on the penalty kill as they send this the full 200 feet and force UNLV to use a full clean sheet of ice. With speed, into the zone goes Malone. Malone had this one whacked off of his stick.
Oh, this is because I print from them.
Fink handles it from his own circle, turns around and gets back to the defensive zone. Or defensive pair in Williams.
I have the sheet
down
somewhere
near side for Woodward. Woodward walks in, goes cross ice for Fink. Fink walks up, had Malone out in front, and just went over his blade. And this one finally out of the zone as it was cleared by Evangelisti.
The winner of this
down
one
to the UNLV zone.
And
Evangelisti just carries and dumps this one deep as the rest of his kill line gets a change.
Imagine an Ohio and Iowa State
Yeah, this will be interesting to see how UNLV sets this up. You can see in this first round they're trying to move it into the center, set up the perimeter, get the picket fence set up, and start to move it in. And they were almost successful on that. Just needed to lift the puck a little bit.
They have to play the
Giesbrecht
Seahawks
will come around his own net, stop this and lay it for a soft.
Stony Brook and Iowa State play
The
each
Rebels will
other.
try to get this one going in the last 30 of their own power play. Into the zone goes Kozubski, as Hazel will play it behind his own net, now up and
then
just
the winner of that game plays the winner of
deflected
this
off
one,
the
is what I
stick
think
of
it
a
is.
soft and coming out of his net to play this is Giesbrecht.
I could be wrong about that, but
And up ahead for Williams, who got credit for the goal on the review. Plonsky, back for Kozubski, back down to Plonsky, who walks down the red line in the last 3, 2, and 1 of the power play.
That was interesting. This last power play setup, they had all 5 guys over on the short side.
Well, Kozubski almost had a layup as this one was shot into the leg pad of of Grant Hazel.
Tough turnover there. Leads to nothing, thankfully, for UNLV.
Now Hazel behind his own net leaves this a kind of a giveaway on the far hash mark. And the shot applied there by Rhea. Hazel angles this one off the boards, and finally Harkins plays it, but in the skates, and almost a full-on turnover, finally out of the zone. We're going to play this puck as Rhea goes D to D. Angled up and guided in and fanning on it a little bit was the defenseman Lawson. Period of the long change. I mean, second periods are always adventurous.
Yeah, they really can be. And what's interesting right now is the UNLV is sparked by that power play, sparked by getting that goal. They're actually taking their game to Ohio right now. So let's see when Ohio gets back their legs and gets back into this period.
Hockey, like most sports, a game of ebb and flows and how you control. There's like a downed UNLV player kind of slow to get up.
Yeah, what was interesting last night, there was a penalty, back check. That might be, that'll be a 2-minute. Hopefully it won't be a checking from behind another one.
Going in awkwardly is Plonsky.
Ooh, that's reminiscent of last year's game when Fink went in like that. Yeah, a couple of words here.
And it's going to be another UNLV power play as the guilty party is going to be, looks like Sean Baird.
Yeah, Baird was pretty frisky right at the face-off circle, and maybe the lad's energy, sometimes enthusiasm overcomes confidence and judgment.
Yeah, with how physical this game has been and just opening up this period, he's got the winner of this game gets a very well-deserved day off. I'm just predicting a lot of ice baths in these gentlemen's futures.
Maybe some whirlpool action.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know where the closest pharmacy is, but I'm sure all of the bags will be gone.
UNLV finds themselves right back on the power play. Near side was looking for Woodward, still in the slot. However, was John, and he couldn't fire a shot off. Near side at the top of the circle for Woodward, who lost it, was just dumped out by Houston.
Yeah, a little bit of luck on UNLV's side there. They had 3 fans in a row, but were able to keep it in for momentarily.
This one just down deep, and now giving chase is going to be Williams. Williams in the corner, a pair of 13s. Doing battle in the corner, opposing numbers, opposing sides. This one just pitchforked up and out of the zone, all the way back, and Giesbrecht will have to play it as Evangelisti applied some momentary pressure. He peels off for a change.
Now they ticked a minute off on the power play, so they've got another minute to see what they can do with the puck.
Now Plonsky leaves it for a giveaway here. Back the other way is going to go Craddock. Craddock being harassed by 2 Rebels.
Good back check there.
Yeah, lots of speed on this Rebel team, and you saw it right there. Able to catch and caught up to the Ohio player with ease.
And Kozubski ahead. Rudin was watching him, and Kozubski, a turnover here. Nice save by Thomas, and he covers up as a pair of Rebels were coming in. 35 seconds left on the penalty, 15:44 left in the middle frame.
This is when I wish my assignment was down between the boards. I'm pretty positive there's some pretty colorful language going on down between these 2 teams right now.
It's day 2, and Jay's already complaining about his assignments.
Yeah. I love my assignment. This is the best job in the world.
Kozubski wins the faceoff back to a soft, and it's Kozubski at the top of the circle. Down low, feed is shot off of the blocker of Thomas and looking for the wraparound attempt. And the shot by Williams goes all the way around and out of the zone. The last 20, probably one last rush for the Rebels as Asaf will play this one all the way in his own corner.
Yeah, a lot of power on that shot, and it unfortunately doesn't hit the frame of the net, and it kind of acts as if clear for Ohio.
So Williams wasn't really a shot, but nevertheless, the last 3 seconds with 15-12 left.
Man, Houston almost snowed his own goalie there coming in to protect him. I'm sure those guys love that when they get that ice chip shower.
I'm sure it gets hot in all that gear, so maybe cools them off a little bit.
I unfortunately had to play goalie only once in the father-son game, and I ended up getting in net, and I was tired after the warm-up.
We're not going to judge your physical fitness here.
I tell you, that gear is heavy, and I had no idea where the net was. It's just amazing that these guys can have their back to their what they have to protect and know where they are at all times.
Well, Rhea was trying to gain the Ohio zone, couldn't do it, and goes back to Harrison. And now Rhea kind of knifes it up ahead and squeaks by a defender, and he gets taken out by Houston.
Again, I got to like these refs in many leagues, even at this level. That would have been called a trip. And here, if there were no hockey play to be made, let the boys play on.
And this one's sent all the way down. The Bobcats will not ice the
Good
puck.
hustle.
McCorney was there. Now sent in front, and a shot that was wide of the net.
Yeah, that was great hustle there to create the scoring opportunity. You just never want to let that puck die in the other offensive zone, and good stretch pass here.
I'd like to look at that one again, though, because how did he get that far in without being offside?
We'll look at it and gaining in the zone and getting kind of tripped up there was Toriumi. Toriumi having some words with Houston, and maybe the ref who was right behind him as well. With speed up ahead was Lubin. Lubin was trying to gain the zone, couldn't do it. Picorni will just get this one deep as the Bobcats come in onside now. Had a turnover in the slot up ahead and missing the net high.
What an opportunity
was Matt
there.
Rudin, yeah. You got to convert those.
Those are the ones that you think about when you're putting your head against the pillow later tonight.
Yeah, all that open net, and get handcuffed.
Now Hazel up ahead. Not quite out of the zone, but getting to it was Houston. Houston cross pass for Harkins, and Harkins sends this one up to the crease and covered up by Giesbrecht with 13-11.
Yeah, this is a beautiful game. I mean, if anybody is a hockey lover, even though we've just got a 1-1 score, you almost think what's going on here, but it has been back and forth. Both teams controlling the zone for extended periods of time. A little bit of luck on both sides of the ice. It's just a fair game right now.
Face-off win to the Rebels. Goes through the skates of Cody Williams all the way down where Barrett will play it. And backhands this one up to the near side corner where Evangelisti got this off the board, but it goes right back to the corner. UNLV sent this to the front of the net, and a high touch there by UNLV, and maybe a 2-on-1 if Evangelisti can hurry. On a nice move there and trying to get it to the blade of Jenkins. It would have been a backhand shot. It rarely missed. Now soccered up ahead, up and over the goal, and it was gloved down near side by Tristan Mayer.
Yeah, that was really a good setup, just a little bit too far.
Braddock left it for Houston, and this one will end up in the Ohio bench with 12:24 in period 2.
Yeah, you can see really why Evangelisti is so high on the points list for this Ohio Bobcats team, and also why he was invited to be a part of the ACHA national team as well.
Yeah, it's just interesting too, but in the top 5, they've got some defensemen that, again, it's just Houston is just up. We've got another high stick coming up.
And penalty's going to go against Ohio.
Well, we'll see if it's getting a little inadvertent. Lots of chirping going on.
Drew Magyar is going to be the guilty party and puts UNLV back on the power play, who, by the way, is up in the shot total 14-9 currently.
Yeah, it's again, they came out strong, and so you got to like that. But again, Houston, even though he doesn't have a letter on his shoulder, seems to be coaching this team. He's the one who came up to the ref to have a chat about this penalty.
Well, an opportunity for UNLV to find themselves up by 1. The 13th seeded Rebels, and a shot that sailed high.
That corner was open.
Gross now trying to walk this one out, watched by 3 Rebels, and he gets canceled out there by Woodward.
Again, Gross being one of those offensive defensemen on this Ohio team has had a fabulous year, and he's having a good tournament.
Williams will play this from his own zone as he circles back. Tries to get this restarted as the first 35 seconds surpass on the power play. And no icing here. Is it? Maybe it will. I guess it was an offside that got waved off.
Tough when you circle all the way back behind your net. You set up your breakout only for a stretch pass to come all the way back into your own zone. That's just a brutal turn of events for UNLV.
Yeah, what's fun is both teams are battling for every piece of the ice, and this is, again, if you're a hockey fan, this is just a fabulous game to be part of.
Fink from behind his own net. And he'll break this one out. Fink will. Gains a blue line, angles it off the glass as he's down by the Ohio red line. Now finally back up to the point for Williams. Walk into the logo. Now down here near side for Woodward. Woodward back to Williams. Off the shin pad of Evangelisti. And this one pitchforked, but not out of the zone. Williams for Woodward. Walks into the face-off dot, and this one went off an Ohio player in the form of Hazel. He just got back up. Walking in Woodward, a shot. Didn't get to the net. Evangelisti's clearing attempt, didn't get to the blue line, and it's going to be here near side for Malone. Back to Williams. A couple of players in front, but it was padded away, and we're going to have a stoppage. As it was on the ref.
Yeah, I'm not sure what his discussion was here.
I think they're kind of tugging on that far post, maybe just slightly off.
Yeah, it's got to line up right along that line. That red line's got to go up and over the side, over the crossbar, back down, and then out to the other side. And so if it's not properly lined up, and the ref is right there to see that.
Well, the net becoming a storyline in this game, but not for the reasons we consider.
Yeah.
Into the corner it goes. Houston guy just went up and over up the glass, but still behind the Ohio net. Thomas will have to get in the butterfly to protect that post and finally gets a stop on it. Looks like he got stepped on as well.
Yeah, lots of action around his net. But again, goalies thrive on action. There's they don't like these 10-1, 10-2 where there's they get less than 20 shots in the game. They like that production up in the high 20s, into the 30s. They don't like 40s and 50s.
And back the other way in the last 7 seconds we go as Gross will just get this one deep. And UNLV with the last 2-1. And the power play has expired. Magyar stepped out and he tried to step on the play.
Getting hooked all the way.
This one finally out of the Ohio zone, but coming up and playing this is Hetzel. Offside. Yep.
Yeah, if you're UNLV, it starts to get a little bit more discouraging each time that you can't convert on the special teams. It'll be interesting to see what kind of adjustments they might make after our commercial break here or during the intermission.
Now there's Baird the agitator again. He wasn't even part of the earlier conversation, but he felt compelled to join it.
Well, we are going to take our media timeout here at 9:58 in period number 2. Score still remains 1-1.
The 2019 ACHA National Championships are brought to you by Barron Championship Rings, proud sponsor and championship ring provider for the ACHA. Warrior Sports, the preferred stick supplier of the ACHA. The Dallas Stars. For tickets and more information, visit dallasstars.com. And Southwest Airlines, the official event airline partner of the 2019 ACHA National Championships.
And back at the Comerica Center as we just rejoin the action. Boz Echevarria alongside Jay Sewell and Ryan Jones. Thank you for joining us on this first game on Friday, March 22nd.
Yeah, we're into summer now.
Like, almost quite feels like it. And this one hopped over Thomas. He did get a glove on it, but it goes up and over the netting.
Yeah, when we were on the break, we were talking about the power play that just has not gelled all tournament long so far for UNLV, and it's getting awful predictable, and they're trying to send it around the perimeter and work it inside. In Ohio, being such a good, smart coach team, all they're doing is collapsing around their net. So the coach is going to have to do something a little bit different to see if he can flood aside and get a sleeper around or something, but they've got to change that power play setup. Otherwise, Ohio's got their number.
And Ohio comes in offside. So far the second period, it seems like it's been dominated mostly by UNLV aside from the power plays that we've seen.
Yeah, I think, that goal review maybe really sparked a lot of life in them, and I think that when you came in here, UNLV was matching Ohio's pace step for step in the first period. They're not shying away, and it's been a great game on both sides. It's been really fun to watch.
Yeah, I think you're right, Ryan. I think the fact that they just don't seem to be intimidated at all by playing a number 4 seed.
No, this Ohio team staying in our hotel, man, I woke up for breakfast and I was intimidated, so I'm very surprised by these UNLV guys not backing down.
Well, Fink will start this one from the behind his own net. And up ahead into the Bobcat zone. It was just dumped in, and playing this is Thomas. Now Rudin at the hash mark. And he gets swiped by Fink. Fink going behind the Ohio net. Reverses his own track and stays behind that red line. That's where kind of UNLV's point of attack has been the whole game. Malone with it. Malone still with it. Shoots it over everyone. And in the corner, Plonsky goes. Plonsky around the boards. There was no one there, and picking this one up is Hazel. Hazel finally gets this one out, and it was corralled in there by Malone, who just sends this deep as Thomas plays it. UNLV will get a change, and so will Ohio. Not a full one there, looking for someone in the slot. A crashing Rebel. It never happened there, as overskating it was Williams.
They almost tried to play that off the back of the goalie, which, again, is that smart because you're so in tight, you really have no room with your stick.
Puck didn't come out of the zone. Onside, ooh. 2 Rebels in front, but the pass couldn't find either one of them.
He got a little bit excited there and just fired one through the slot.
Craddock walks in. He's watched there by Fink. Williams rubs him in the corner. And now Craddock leaves it down low for Ohio. Offering support is Evangelisti. She tries to get this to the point to Houston. Houston takes a tumble, gets the puck, but it was out of the zone, and Ohio will have to get onside, and they do. Craddock with the puck. Evangelisti at the far side hash mark to Gross up top. A shot here, finds a couple of skates, bounces off a couple players, but doesn't find the net.
Yeah, that was a good idea to just fire it in there with all those bodies in front.
Soft angles this back off the end boards. Into the corner we go. And Lampren couldn't handle the puck. Comes Joe Kozubski. Kozubski walks in, takes out Thomas, but flails on the shot attempt.
Great save by Thomas there, and Kozubski creating another chance for UNLV like he's done so far. He's really put the team on his back.
Lampren, and now with the puck was Harrison behind his own net, went D to D, and now up ahead for Kozubski. Baird were there. Baird using his body to keep the puck out of his own defensive zone, as now Picorni will gain it. Picorni with a shot here, and Giesbrecht, who hasn't seen a shot in what seems like almost the whole period, finally makes a stop.
Yeah.
I don't know what they put in the water for UNLV, but it's very effective for them. They actually, like we said, taking the play here in the second period to Ohio. Ohio seems a little glued to the ice, and as you saw, the UNLV players are getting behind the defensemen. Their speed is giving them a run for their money.
Yeah, as we just saw in that replay, the Thomas save on Kozubski, you'll be seeing that on later tonight on ACHA Tonight, hosted by Matt Coma. Once all the 4 broadcasts of today's action wraps up, be sure to check out Mr. Coma, bringing you all the highlights and action of this tournament day.
And even Division II gets underway today as well, so you won't just get Division I highlights, you'll get all the action from Plano, Texas, where the Division II games are occurring right now. Of course, their finals and semifinals will be over here at Comerica Center. But first we'll stick with D1.
I mean, these guys, I know it's a playoff game, everything means more, but the way these two teams are throwing around the body and all the stuff going behind the play, you think this is a storied rivalry right now, the way these guys playing.
On a 2-on-1 here for Ohio, and a little too much sauce on here as it was bouncing around. Ohio couldn't get that shot off. And a shot sticked away by Thomas.
Great back check there by number 14, Baird of the Bobcats, just making sure that 2-on-1 was a 2-on-2.
Yeah, with these two teams, it's an adventure just getting back to the bench because you're going to get delayed or hammered on your way. Just we saw it right there.
Yeah.
And Jimmy Thomas with us now near side the point for Harkins. He finally gets it out of the zone and just chipped it up ahead. Near side as Malone will take this. Getting a little forearm shivers, Toriumi, and finally down and in as Hazel couldn't control the puck.
Hazel says, "Get off me."
Yeah, Hazel's got 40 pounds on the lad.
Well, ice bags, no matter what team you have, you're going to need those after this game. Near side corner there as Harkins tried to get this one up and finally out of the zone. As that was Singley who finally got it out. Near side for Asaf. Gains Ohio zone and shoots, and it was waffle boarded away by Thomas. Kozubski tried to keep this one in, didn't, and angled out of the zone by Turno. A 3-on-1 for Ohio. And a shot, they score! Harkins with his first of the tournament.
Oh, wow. Great patience, great passing, and fantastic celly. I'm going to go ahead and nominate that celebration as #1 so far. It's early, but I like what you're bringing to the table, kid.
Giesbrecht just got frozen. He just got frozen. He just almost like, what do I do? What do I do? He went down and just opened up that far side right above the glove. Beautiful goal.
See if we can take a look at it right here.
Yeah, watch Giesbrecht. He's, what do I do? What do I do? Frozen. Oh, it's behind you. Sorry, lad. Well, #4 came alive finally after actually giving up, for almost 2/3 of this period, all the ice that the Rebels wanted.
Yeah, I mean, with the Rebels kind of dominating this period so far, now new life in for the Bobcats. We'll see how they can take advantage of it.
Yeah, we had a really interesting game last night with Jamestown and Robert Morris, Illinois, where it didn't matter who did what on the ice, and no one got any momentum. It just left the building in the fourth game.
Jenkins now with it in the UNLV zone. They did find the go-ahead goal so far. Evangelisti tried to get this one deep, but he still has it and finally accomplishes that task. Jenkins goes behind the UNLV net and Evangelisti. Watched there by a trio of Rebels.
Actually looks like a cycle. That's the first cycle we've seen in 5 games.
Oh, see, I know, Jay, you mentioned it before the broadcast, but of course yesterday we didn't see any kind of like what's kind of been the standard blowouts in the play-in games. They were all close.
Yeah, it was a 20-goal differential last year, and it was only 6-goal differential this year in the winning teams.
No icing here. It was waved off, and Giesbrecht not happy with the ruling. Rudin still in the UNLV zone. He kind of had the puck lifted off of his stick as Finkel come play this far side hash marks. Finally gets this out of the zone.
The goal seems to have woken up Ohio.
Yep. Oh, huge hit there by Fink. It was on Lubin.
Yep, now Lubin, who was on the receiving end of that check, shoots this one up and into the skates of a UNLV player. Finds it on the end boards.
Returns the favor to Fink. Again, eye for an eye.
UNLV trying to get something going after finding themselves down by 1 goal. Still with the puck behind the net. Now finally guided up and activating from the point. It's going to be Fink. A shot here that's wide of the net. But nevertheless, gloved by Thomas with 2:40 left in the middle frame.
What a treat of a hockey game so far. Just two teams giving it their all and just leaving it out all on the ice because, for a lot of these guys, this will be their last chance at competitive hockey.
Not a bad game to watch with your morning coffee or
No, not at all.
On your lunch break, depending on which time zone you're in. Sent out, or was trying to send it out in front was Malone. And the UNLV find it, kept in the zone. Now far side of the dot, and this bounced off a couple of players. Back for Asaf, who sent this one in deep. Now back at ahead, has no how. Players to Pokorny. Pokorny just finds himself behind the Rebels' defense a lot. And a shot saved by Giesbrecht somewhere in the multitude of players sprawled out in front of him.
Yeah, I don't know. I was going to say, I don't know if Giesbrecht got it or Frank got it, but I think Giesbrecht ended up at least being able to cover.
Yeah, that all that action coming in, and that's what's remarkable about any goalie, being that they just have, if they can see the puck, their athleticism takes over in their training.
And to the last 2:10 we go in period number 2. Now Lamprin with a puck for Pokorny, who wheels around, and this one down for Frank.
Another scoring chance for Ohio, and they're trying that wrap around.
On the puck, out. Sprawling save as Pokorny gives the goaltender and Giesbrecht a tap for keeping that one out of the net.
Well, again, no matter how much chippiness there is, these both teams will shake hands at the end and leave it on the ice, and a little bit of sportsmanship there by Ohio. They like to see that.
Sometimes, you know what, you got to tip your cap to the other player.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that. This one rattled around the boards where Houston will come pick this puck up. Houston.
And there you see Houston with the hands, a defensive player that has unbelievable.
And this one laid out in the crease is just whacking at it, and finally getting out of his crease was Giesbrecht after the attempt from Pokorny.
Yeah, they wanted a penalty on Ohio bench there, but again, they're not going to get much. I actually think the refs are enjoying this game.
Got a UNLV player down trying to get off the bench. They got 6 on the ice right now until he now gets off. We'll see who that is. Received kind of a check from behind the play there.
Yeah, it looks like that was Mayer who was the injured Rebel. And a giveaway here out front of in the slot was Craddock. He sent that one in there. Pokorny's been all over the place in this shift. And now Williams. And out in front for Kozubski, who was probably looking for 4. Angled off right in front of the UNLV bench where Plonsky plays it. Just gets this one deep and then shoved into the boards.
Yeah, you can see it.
Oh, my goodness.
Well, if you look for heavy-hitting hockey action, you come to the right place. The last 40 we go. And Gross has it. Gross is looking near side boards. Jenkins tried to get it out here, and it was just gloved down by Hazel.
Wow, a couple of scoring chances right there.
And now Fink over by the ACHA logo. Shot from the point. It gloved in and out by Thomas, but waiting for it and clearing it out was Evangelisti. Now back the other way is getting the puck out, and it's like Giesbrecht is back, but Ohio offsides. Into the last 5 seconds we go. This one just dumped into the corner. And that's how period 2 will end, with Ohio scoring 1 in the middle frame and finding themselves up by 1 after 40 minutes.
Yeah, it was Ohio just seemed to be a little slow until they scored that goal, and all of a sudden, as they say, it woke them up, and you got to hand it to them. But they're Rebels in this last 2 minutes of the game. They got their spark back, and it's fun to see. And anybody who enjoys hockey, got to love this game.
Yeah, this is great from the fans' perspective. I'm sure the boys are enjoying it, the intensity, but I am very happy being in my nice, safe, comfy.
Well, Casey and Sam will have your intermission show, and they'll have plenty to talk about, including the goal that put Ohio. I apologize to everyone in Ohio. That was a bad mistake on my part.
We're sorry, chat.
I am completely apologetic for that. The Ohio Bobcats find themselves up by 1 after the first 40 minutes. Casey and Sam will have it after the break.
Choo-choo.
Come on. You know the answer. You studied for this. Come on. Timmy. Come on, Timmy. You got this, son. Pencil to paper. Focus. Come on, Timmy. Focus. Focus. Take the puck. There you go. Skate. Skate. Pass it. You call that a pass? What are you doing? You missed the puck. Come on.
Skating was hard at first. Sometimes I fell, but I always got back up. Now when I'm skating, I feel like a rocket, or maybe a race car. Something really fast. It's my second favorite feeling. Scoring is my favorite. I think I like it even more than birthday cake.
Enter the workforce with an edge with a Bachelor of Science degree in Mechanical Engineering from the University of Jamestown. With this undergraduate program offered at our Jamestown campus, you'll benefit from smaller class sizes, more one-on-one time with our caring and committed faculty, and a core curriculum designed to enhance communication skills with state-of-the-art labs and software. Become a more well-rounded critical thinker as an engineer with a Mechanical Engineering degree at the University of Jamestown.
There are a few things that come along that change the course of history. Inventions or developments that reshape society. They usually aren't appreciated at first. In fact, they're often scoffed at. What good will that be?
Hello? Hi.
Surely that can't be practical.
Loves to see you.
But then, slowly, over time, the greatness of these achievements become manifest.
Hi!
Until one day, you ask yourself how you ever lived without them. That's the nature of turning points. They bring us to new roads and new heights. They open doors we never thought possible. So it's important that we go forward together.
I'm here with Gina.
That our growth might not just benefit the great, but the good also. In small ways and in grand ones.
Dad.
The test of our progress is not whether we add more to the abundance of those who have much. It is whether we provide enough for those who have too little.
At Wilson Electronics, we push every day to amplify the power of communication, to connect those who love and those who cannot live without it.
The Dallas Stars have put on camps like this, and we're just really trying to build hockey in the communities around Dallas.
Learn to skate and play hockey for free at Children's Health Star Centers. All throughout DFW, kids ages 4 to 14 can join Rookies programs presented by Lexus. Equipment is included and kids will get a free jersey to take home. For more information, visit dallasstars.com/rookies.
Dallas, Texas, in a stadium that has been sold out for months, the Cotton Bowl.
Notre Dame leading 17-14. 1:10 remaining in the game, and Texas will streak at quarterback. Streak gets to the second man for a touchdown for Texas.
The 2020 Bridgestone NHL Winter Classic, an annual celebration of hockey's heritage. Tickets on sale April 23rd. The Cotton Bowl, New Year's Day. It's gonna be a classic.
Bobcats on top of UNLV. Final 20 minutes of action set to begin here from downtown Frisco. Casey Roll alongside Sam Fleming. SF, what does Ohio need to do to finish this game out? And on the other side, what does UNLV have to do to try to keep their playoff hopes alive?
Well, it was another great period. A lot of quality scoring chances for both teams, Casey, but it's only Ohio who gets the only goal from Tyler Harkins. A beautiful goal, a great pass from Timmy Turnow as well. But I think for Ohio, they just got to keep the game that they've been playing. They've been moving the puck really well. They have been a little bit more physical. UNLV's throwing the body around too. I think both teams have to stay out of the rough stuff and try to move the puck as well as possible. For UNLV, get back to where they were in that second period of yesterday's game against Robert Morris, Pennsylvania. And for Ohio, just try to see it out and continue their quest for that 5th national championship. But it's going to be a tough road because the third period is always a battle, no matter who's playing.
You mentioned physicality, lots of it in the second. Who does that benefit more if that continues in the third?
I think it benefits UNLV, to be fairly honest with you, because they seem to throw in the body a lot more. They threw the body a lot in that third period yesterday in that Robert Morris, Pennsylvania game, and look, it pretty much put them over the edge to win that game. But I think they got to keep throwing traffic to the net. Jimmy Thomas is one of the best goaltenders in the ACHA, so you got to throw bodies in front of the net, try to get some traffic on, look for rebounds as well to try to tie this game at 2.
Winner of this game goes to play the winner of Iowa State and Stony Brook. A possible Iowa State and Ohio game will have ACHA historians chopping at the bits. Both teams record of 27 national championship appearances. But Sam, focusing on this right now, we talked about UNLV playing back-to-back 10 a.m. games to open up the tournament. If they play a third straight 10 a.m. game, or if they move on to do that, what needs to change in the third?
I think they just got to keep, like I said, they got to keep throwing traffic in front of the net, but they got to use their speed. And they've also got to throw the body around a little bit and try to get a goal early on. The earlier you can get a goal to start a period, the better the momentum. And I think UNLV did a good job of getting that yesterday in that second period, I believe, and that third period as well. They just got to keep throwing traffic to the net. But if you're Ohio, keep it simple, get pucks deep and go after it. Try to build on this lead if you can.
Well, it's the final 20 minutes of action. It's the winner moving on to play Iowa State and Stony Brook. Ohio leads 2-1 over UNLV. We send it back to our ACHA studios for the final 20 minutes right here on the ACHA Network.
Rebels take chances and inspire action. Rebels are daring and diverse, curious and creative. Rebels are different, and in our differences, we come together. To discover, to innovate, to succeed in a community like no other. We are UNLV. We are Rebels. The University of Nevada, Las Vegas.
Come on! You know the answer. You studied for this. Come on. Timmy! Come on, Timmy. You got this, son. Pencil to paper. Focus. Come on, Timmy. Focus. Focus. Take the puck. Here you go. Skate. Skate. Pass it. You call that a pass? What are you doing? You missed the puck. Come on.
You deserve an extraordinary university experience, and that is Ohio University. We're a national leader in Fulbright award-winning students with professors dedicated to your future success. We've won 38 Pulitzer Prizes, a Nobel Prize in Chemistry, and were awarded 9 new patents in 2017 alone. We're the most exciting band in the land and home to the most beautiful campus on earth. Choose the extraordinary experience. Choose Ohio University.
Minutes of hockey played here in Frisco, Texas at the Comerica Center for the 2019 ACHA Division I Men's National Championship. Boz Echevarri alongside with me, Jay Sewell, Ryan Jones. We've been treated to a great hockey game for the first 40. Of course, we still have 20 minutes left on tap, and it's been really a heck of a game so far.
Yeah, this is one of those games where you wish both teams could win. I mean, both of them are fighting for every inch. It's been a track meet back and forth, and it coupled with physical play. So if you're one of those hockey fans that like to watch the Broad Street Bullies play, this is a game for you.
Yeah, I mean, I think this game right now, we've seen it go back and forth. It could go either way. I think my only prediction is probably to see someone go through the glass tonight. I mean, these guys are throwing the body around. They're fighting for their lives out here. And like I mentioned it earlier in the broadcast, it feels like a rivalry game, the way that these guys are going after it. And I think we'll get more of that in the third. And hopefully we'll get a little bit more scoring on both sides. And we'll see who's going to advance in the tournament.
What's on the line here, regardless of whoever wins or loses this game, they'll get a day off tomorrow, and they'll play the winner of the Iowa State-Stony Brook game, which will occur tomorrow night, kind of the plus side of being a play-in or also being a higher-seeded team is that you do get a little bit of a break before you get to the nitty-gritty of this tournament. But regardless, we still have to get through this 20 minutes, and by no means is UNLV out of it. They are leading the shot count by 5 shots, 20-15 in favor of UNLV. They put up 10 shots in the second period as well as the first period. Ohio had 7 shots in the second, 5 in the first. So, I mean, the stat that really matters to everyone at home really, though, is the goal total, and Ohio is up 2-1 in that.
Right. UNLV came out really strong that second period. I think they dominated most of it, but just a lapse in judgment leads to a 3-on-1 and an absolute snipe. And now it's a lopsided score.
Well, we'll see if UNLV can even up the score. Of course, those of you who remember, both programs last year met in Columbus, and UNLV got a goal in the third period to send this into overtime, in which Ohio found themselves advancing to play on Illinois the next round. Nevertheless, we'll play 20 minutes, see what unfolds as, I don't know if he was looking for someone in the slot or just trying to shoot it off of Giesbrecht, who's done a marvelous job in net so far for the Rebels. And this one just pitchforked in and over the stick of Giesbrecht, who's being watched there by an Ohio player. UNLV will regroup and finally get this one out of the zone, but just out of the reach of Cody Williams.
Just a bit outside.
Finally deep in behind the net again as UNLV is going to try to enter the Ohio zone somehow. To start this, as now entering the zone is Toriumi. Toriumi looking for a couple of Rebels in front of the net and in the slot, but they were watched by a pair of Bobcats, and the Rebels have iced the puck.
Yeah, that was really a good, interesting breakout. We talked about that in the first second, trying to get that breakout pass, and where are you going to do that? So I don't know what was talked about in the chalkboard in the locker room, but again, UNLV decided to flood the side, so we'll see if that continues. And again, Anthony Greener, Vinny is quite the coach. He's built a great program, and that was really good coaching to see those kids. Whatever adjustment they made between periods was evident in that breakout.
Evangelisti fanned on the pass at the near side hash mark. And coming about is DeAndre John. John watched by 3 Bobcats. Maybe gotten tripped up, but already lost the puck. By that time that happened.
Yeah, this is the 16th year of the USA Hockey development people coming out here. This is the highest level that amateur hockey has to do the refs, and they do. This has just been spectacular reffing all tournament long.
And Jenkins had his stick lifted, almost Zdeno Chara-esque.
It almost came over the glass. That would have been interesting.
Ohio's going to elect to change here while this scrum occurs.
And why not? Let the players rest up a little bit, get the change. That's Picorni down by the red line, looking for a wraparound, didn't get it, but the puck is out in the crease and finally gloved before it got to the goal by Ben Giesbrecht.
Yeah, you're right, Ryan. This does have all the feelings of a rivalry game, and maybe it is a spillover from last year. It was unfortunate last year in that game where Fink went down with a hip injury. But boy, he's played a masterful game coming back. So whatever injury occurred, he's more than 100% today. He's playing with lots of speed and energy.
The soft rattles this around the boards, but one of the things too about playoff hockey, we talk about rivalries, and a lot of the rivalries that we see at the pro level and even at the NCAA level, they develop because of these postseason matchups.
Right. You get these storied programs that see each other year after year, and, they cause the most heartbreak to you when you're fighting like this. So it is kind of interesting to see. On one hand, you have a storied program like Ohio with multiple national championships, and then you have a younger program like UNLV that's fighting for their right to be taken seriously, and they should be. This is a fantastic team. 2 fantastic programs. We are lucky to watch this game today.
Yeah, and I think if you're in the ACHA as a Division I program, you got to be put on notice by this UNLV team. 2 years in the ACHA Division I, 2 postseason appearances. So by no means are they a laughing matter. A program that, as Jay mentioned in the first period, is they're stocking up for future runs in the ACHA as well. Now a nice move by Woodward as he gets tripped up. No penalty here. As Woodward gets put into the net, Thomas can't get out, and now Woodward just shoves the net off. So Barry and Woodward are going at it.
This should result in some calls here.
That was pretty interesting if we don't get any calls out of this, because there was lots of extracurricular, and it looks like there might be taken.
Well, Picorni was the Bobcat that was applying a couple extra shoves.
I like when there's always these chats all the way to the penalty box. It is definitely not a teachable moment for any player. He's not interested in what any ref has to say at that point.
Maybe he's just a law student, Jay. He's just pre-law.
And here we go out in front. And Corny.
That was a well-deserved penalty. Yeah, if you're going to go into the box, go with the.
Oh, well, that's what it was. Yeah. Woodward gave Thomas a shove, and then maybe inadvertently hitting Thomas with his stick. So Corny protecting his goaltender, and that's what resulted in the penalty. Face-off win, and when you win a face-off on the penalty kill, you got to send it 200 feet, and that's exactly what Ohio's done.
Well, we talked about it in the second frame, whether or not there'll be some adjustments by the UNLV on their power play, because it has been pretty predictable all tournament, and they haven't had a lot of success with it. So we'll see what they do here.
Well, Soft there, and he's also being supported by Mayer.
Nelson's going down 200 feet. If it doesn't go out, yep.
And all the way down, so UNLV will be forced to reset again with about 120 when they pick up the puck. And all the way down here, near side for Plonsky. Plonsky finally does gain the zone.
Nice
and a
move.
shot glove saved by Thomas, and that's how this series goes.
Yeah, really look forward to hopefully seeing UNLV set something up off of this draw. Their power play today has been quite abysmal. I know we talked about it in the second period, but you're not going to get a ton of these chances, especially against this good Bobcat team with a lead. They really need to get something here.
One back to the point where Williams has it. He'll go D to D, and now up ahead there for, I believe that was John, where finally picking it up was Baird, and he'll send it the length of the ice as we enter the last 60 seconds of the roughing minor to Corny.
It is hard, though, when you know you're one goal down. You need this goal to be patient, and UNLV is just not that patient right now. They're trying to force their way into the puck, and you can just see that they're Ohio's getting in the shooting lanes and they're getting in the passing lanes. Just be patient.
Fink trying to move. His pass went up. Malone. Little pass that hopped over the stick of a couple of UNLV sticks, and we'll go to the last 30 of the penalty.
Yeah, and I guess while we criticize UNLV's power play, we must credit the Bobcats' penalty kill for being able to send 3 consecutive pucks deep down ice.
And now Toriumi. Toriumi didn't even get to the top of the circle, and he'll just get this one deep. As now giving chases Houston. Houston guides this one out for Evangelisti. He'll go near side corner. And that'll all about do it for this UNLV power play. And a shot here into the skates. And bouncing out to the near side hash marks. Gross gets it. He tried to get it deep, but was denied there by Moeller.
Oh, right in the center. I'm sure the goalie loves to see that.
And a shot that is deflected short of the near post as the Rebels break out of their own zone. Near side for Moeller. Moeller gets it and quickly turned it over. Picking it up is Hazel. Up ahead for Evangelisti. He has Rudin and Harkins. For Harkins, and he couldn't get his blade on it. Got it up ahead for Moeller. Moeller couldn't get the backhand pass deep. And this one sent deep as the defensive pair for Ohio gets a change.
You wonder if fatigue is setting in here for both sides, because the energy is interesting, but not like it was in the second period.
Evangelisti chipped up ahead. A shot here and scores. Harkins, his second of the game. It's 3-1.
Fantastic setup by Ohio. UNLV clears the puck all the way back to Thomas. Thomas directing Evangelisti up, who lays out the nice pass and an easy goal. Just great communication by the Ohio side and a tough change for UNLV.
Yeah, that was that was not goalie's fault. It was just caught. Here we go with the look. Yep, he went short side right over the blocker.
So Harkins is second in the game, and it's a 2-goal lead for Ohio as they start to pull away a little bit.
Yeah, this makes it a little tougher mountain to climb. But again, the way UNLV has been playing, you just can't count them out now. That's not the backbreaker.
Still got plenty of time, 14 minutes and some change. In front of the boards, now back to the point. Shot here by Plonsky, glove down, and had to fight through a couple of sticks looking to deflect it.
Yeah, had UNLV gotten anybody in front of that, in front of Jimmy Thomas, he would not have seen that puck. It's been a treat to watch this game.
Yeah, it really has been a great way to wake up to some good hockey, and things are only going to go better if the pace increases.
And now
next
trying to gain
rounds.
the zone there was Jenkins. Jenkins sent this to the front. Geisberg has to make a pair of saves as the rebound was laid out in front, and does.
Yeah, good defensive play by UNLV. Again, I'm not surprised by the speed that they have. I mean, they actually might be a little bit faster than Ohio, but Ohio is just whatever system they're playing, it just really works for them.
Won by the Rebels up around the boards where Gross will play it, and he will lay it here near side, just outside the blue line, and guide it in where Craddock was there applying the pressure for the Bobcats. Tried to leave it for a teammate there in support. Now Toriumi gets this one out of the zone, assisted by Fink. Fink now carries line to line. As
There they
he's
go
harassed
again.
by number 11s.
Yep, flooding one side. They had 4 players in the half ice there.
And
Again, a changing system.
Shot by Williams again, and another return. And Fink goes back to Williams. Williams from the point had it roll off of his stick, and he decided to send it off the end boards. Now Harrison chips it down low, giving chase there is his teammate John. John reverses his track. Finally gets to the far side corner in front of the Zamboni doors. And Harrison goes to Williams. A shot here, and it was a bad save.
Wow.
What a
good
great save.
Well, what's fun about this is the Rebels just they're not showing any down from being 2 goals down. They're fighting again, and they're fighting really well.
Singly sends this on frame. There were no Bobcats here. That was just most likely just get that one deep and hope that someone was skating in. Now sent deep again. Sat out in front of the crease into the high slot. Coming back toward the left side of the ice we go. And icing waved off here as Hazel plays it in front of the Zamboni doors. Trying to swipe at it and missing was Malone as it comes out of the Bobcat zone. Plonsky will take it at his own blue line. Cross-ice pass for it was Hetzel. And a couple of players getting tangled up at the blue line. Now up ahead, a potential 2-on-1 developing. Ohio with a shot and was short of the near post. Now Hazel just gets this one deep as Singley was looking for it. He was cut off there by Kozubski. Kozubski still just pinning his man against the board as it looks like that's Magyar there. Moeller brings it out. Moeller dumps it in. He'll peel off for a change.
Yeah, wholesale change here, fire drill.
Up ahead and missing the stick. He was looking for Singley. Couldn't find him. Kozubski gets pinned up on the boards by Frank, and just getting this one in is Cody Williams as Thomas will place behind his own net. He decides to leave it and just run around the boards. We're picking this one up is Williams. Finally out of the Rebel zone, or excuse me, the Ohio zone. As Picorni will give there. He's watched there by Asaf. And a pair of Rebels with a pair of Bobcats in the far side corner. Kozubski had to fight off. I believe that was Lamprin who was there. Or Asaf will take it in front of his own net. And finally out of the zone. Seems like a more relaxed pace in this third period.
Yeah. I think just with the amount of body contact that these guys have gone through, and it just wears you down these third periods where you really got to grind it out, and I'm sure a lot of them are looking up at the clock waiting for that timeout.
Houston, this one laid out in front, and a sprawling save.
What a remarkable save on the rebound.
Harrison with a shot that got deflected. The stick now at the far side corner and getting tripped up there was Harrison. He tried to recover his stick, and this one blocked nicely by Houston. Houston is out in front.
Yep.
Houston still with it. He puts on the brakes, was looking for a teammate in Lampron who not only had to try to get a shot off after being harassed by a Rebel, but had to deal with not getting in the way of Geisbrecht as he puts a glove on it. And with 9:45 left in the period, we'll take a short break. You're watching game number 5 between the Ohio Bobcats and the UNLV Rebels. The Bobcats up by 2 goals.
The 2019 ACHA National Championships are brought to you by Budget Car Rental, the preferred rental agency of the ACHA. Hogan Transportation, official tournament partners of the 2019 ACHA National Championships. Edge Protect, protecting goalie skate blades since 2004 and official sponsor of the 2019 ACHA National Championships.
And welcome back to the Comerica Center in Frisco, Texas, home of the 2019 ACHA Championship. We have a great game here. Ohio up ahead by 2 goals ahead of the UNLV Rebels, and we invite you to stick around for the next game between Missouri State and the defending national champions in Adrian College. Face-off scheduled for 1:30 right back here on the ACHA Network on YouTube. Should be a good game there. We got to see Adrian College play a lot during the national championship. Obviously, they won it, and the number 3 seed in this tournament. And kind of a interesting play there by the Rebels as the puck kind of scored in front of.
It worked. It worked.
Giesbrecht. Cameron Frink walks this one into the slot and shoots from that hash mark. And blowing a tire there was, and then checking his skates was Rudin.
2-on-1.
Harkins, a shot here, they score! Brian Lubin. And it's a 3-goal lead for the Bobcats.
Yeah, that developed right in the neutral zone when they're pinching a little bit. And again, you can't blame the Rebels for trying to move up ice and staying on the offensive side of the red line, but they got caught 1 defensive man back. Here, watch this play. Yep.
A great pass here. Great finish. Giesbrecht doesn't have a chance, and Ohio really taking control of this game now.
Well, Jonesy, you called it. It looked like they were maybe looking for that media break just to reset the gears on the period. And just 20 seconds after the break, it's a goal.
Yeah, fantastic play. It's going to be tough for UNLV to get back into this one. But if anything I've seen from watching the Rebels a couple times this year is this team has a lot of fight, and they're not going to give up easy.
Malone gains his own. Puck trickled into the slot. A pair of Bobcats canceled themselves out in front of the Zamboni doors. As applying a healthy check there was Bagby.
We were treated to that yesterday where Drexel almost came back, tying it up. They came alive in the second half of the third period, and Oklahoma had a 4-0 lead, and they almost ended up 5-4.
Harrison at the Ohio blue line. This one tipped in, but just missing the net was Malone. And the Bobcats will recover this puck up ahead to center ice. Evangelisti carries it in, looking for Craddock, and almost found him just in front of Giesbrecht. Now Evangelisti from the top of the circle. A high slot shot that's covered up by Giesbrecht as the shot from Gross was blockered down. And not a big rebound as Giesbrecht also had support from his defensive pair.
Yeah, whenever I see these games with a 3-goal spread, all I can remember is Boston against Toronto, and Toronto thinking they're going on to the playoffs, and with 2 minutes left, Boston scores and takes the game. I mean, I've never seen a collapse like that, but I'm sorry, the Toronto fans, but that is Toronto.
Of course, the NHL playoffs just shortly away. The Dallas Stars, who are hosting us for this tournament, they are currently in the first wild card spot, looking hopefully to move up in the third of their division, and we'll have an ice here against the Bobcats. And maybe Ohio feeling like the home team again, getting to play in an arena where it's decked out in their colors.
Yeah, would love coming here wearing those unis and seeing all this green. You feel at home, and hopefully a lot of Ohio fans, coming out here to make a deep run, friends and fam.
Of course, Ohio is, in a way, the hosting team last year in Columbus, as there's just a short 90-minute drive from Athens up to Columbus, and a couple of Ohio Bobcats fans made the trip down to Frisco, Texas. Of course, bit of a longer journey from Las Vegas over to Dallas. Nevertheless, back to the reason why we're here. It's Gross will take the puck out of his own zone. Finally up ahead, chipped up ahead, and he was shoved by a pair of UNLV players.
Yeah, you can see some of these players are constantly looking at the ref because normally, they're not used to this tight of a called game where they just let them play, and they're constantly looking back at the referee saying, hey, that's a penalty, and they're just not going to get that at this level.
But especially not this deep in the season. You really want to see who the best teams are playing through a lot of, maybe, I don't know if I'd call them borderline, but not as egregious penalties.
Right.
As Thomas put the squeeze on that, he made another save. Shot total in favor of the UNLV Rebels. The gap has closed, however. It is 27-26 with 7:17 left.
And both goalies have played outstanding today. Giesbrecht just kind of being hung out to dry on some odd man opportunities, with really making really difficult saves. You can't do that all the time.
And good defensive play there by Ohio, as blocking the shot there was Hazel. Took away a scoring opportunity off of the faceoff. Got it up ahead and was looking for the stick and finally found him and maybe blowing a tire.
No, they're going to call penalty there.
Magyar and a couple
slash on him.
Extracurricular. It's like maybe a hold.
I don't know if we got a hold or a slash here. We'll see what the call is. It's 2 minutes, hold. Yeah, spun him around, and you're going to get that call when you're coming in on net like that, where you have an opportunity to score. I mean, you disrupt the scoring chance, and they got to call that.
Well, that's always a tough situation there as the defender is, do you let him go or do you challenge him? And I think, unfortunately, with this much time left, you can't necessarily say it was a good penalty, but anything's better than letting him have a one-on-one opportunity with your goalie.
Well, a tough road gets even tougher as UNLV will have to kill off this penalty. And
yeah, not much he could do there. As you see the replay.
Cross-ice pass and Gross from the ACHA logo. Evangelisti looking for a pass into the slot. And was denied there as clearing it down the length of the ice is Hetzel.
But what I do like is the fact that the Run Rebs here, they're not giving up. They're playing all 60 minutes, which is what your fans and your coaching staff just compete. I mean, you want the compete level to be high, and we're seeing that out of UNLV today.
Well, probably more so than your coaches and your fans. I mean, your teammates expecting, give it for your teammates, if anyone else. Evangelisti will play this out of the corner. Back to Gross at the point. And Gross with a shot found the stick of Harkins, who already has 2 goals tonight. Or I guess I should say this morning. Oh, the far side hash marks. Walking this back is Houston. Gets this one low. And Houston's down.
Yeah, it is different. I mean, these teams, normally we're going to get a penalty here for taking Houston down. He's checking to see if he's got his chiclets.
That is going to be Joe Kozubski, the guilty party. Maybe out of frustration on a high stick.
Yeah, it's a different time frame. I mean, you're used to playing Friday and Saturday nights, and it does play with you a little bit when you got a daytime game, because it's not like college or the NHL where you can play anytime. And that's the one thing when you ask NHL players what's so different now that you're retired, and they say weekends.
Yeah. Back-to-back 8 a.m. Pacific time starts for UNLV2 does not help in a 48-hour or 24-hour period, I should say.
Yeah, well, UNLV will have to kill off a 5-on-3 for the next about 45 seconds. And then we'll have an abbreviated power play as Gross enters the UNLV zone. Houston now with it, walks up to the near side, hash marks. Houston still with it, goes behind the UNLV net, reverses his tracks. And now for Evangelisti at the top of the circle. Shot here that was deflected by Plonsky. Now Houston at the top of the ACHA logo. Back to Gross. And a shot fanned on by Harkins. It was just misfired. But it'll go back to Harkins as he's on the near side corner. And up for Rudin. Now for Houston. Rudin. Houston. A shot here and was saved off the stick. Maybe the blocker of Giesbrecht, excuse me. 5-on-3 ends, and we'll have that abbreviated power play for the next 50 seconds. Harkins was in front behind the net. That's the choice of play. Back to the top where Gross has it. Gross walks up and then was fired into a Rebel defender, and now is saved by Giesbrecht. And that's how this series concludes.
Really like the way that Ohio attacked that power play, just being calm, confident, using the back of the net. They sometimes refer to as Gretzky's office. They have all the time in the world with a 3-goal lead and a 5-on-3 advantage. No need to force anything. So we'll look to see if maybe they still apply that with 39 seconds left on the power play.
All the way around the boards where Cameron Frink tried to angle this one out. And wasn't able to do this so as Turnau was there.
That was almost a 2-on-1.
Now Hazel from the point. And this one just guided in by Turnau where Pokorny's there, watched by a pair of Rebels. And it's like Lubin's there. He's rubbed off, and finally the Rebels regain possession.
Yeah, this is the time when you're Hogan. I'm surprised Hogan hasn't had an aneurysm on the bench over there. I've seen him. He's been pretty animated the entire time, the coach. But this is when you tell your players, just be smart. Just be smart. Let's get out of here. We've got a 3-goal lead. Let's just be smart.
And you got a rest day tomorrow as well. So Hazel, now near side, and picked up by Jenkins, who shot it into the skate of Harrison. Now Jenkins again at the end boards and sent this one to the slot area where a multitude of Rebels picked it up. Moving to the zone is Malone. Malone was looking for a teammate in the form of Mayer on the far side slot.
Yeah, this is the calmest I've seen Hogan all day. He's actually had his arms crossed and his hand up on his head, but it's been interesting watching that bench over there across from us in Ohio, and he's got all fired up, especially when they had that goal called on them when they thought the post was off, but the rules prevailed.
I'm pretty sure my blood pressure would go down just a little bit if I have a 3-goal lead at this point.
And we're going to have a timeout from UNLV with 3:33 left.
Yeah, with this kind of lead that Ohio has, Coach Greener, he's got to decide. Look, somewhere I'm guessing he's going to pull a Patrick Roy here, and somewhere, right around if they can control this, even 3 minutes, he's going to have to pull somebody and just take his chances. They need 3 goals, and the only way to get that probably done in any fashion is to think about when Breesbeck has got to come off, and they're going to chat about that right now.
The all-important discussion, with your season on the line. How aggressive? Do you have to go all out aggressive here? Can you lean back a little? What are we looking at?
I mean, I think you kind of have to weigh the good with the bad with a 3-goal lead. If you are going all out aggressive, and they score an empty netter with 2 minutes to go, it doesn't really change much, I guess. But maybe if you can get one by having someone cherry picking. Another issue with that is the speed of this Bobcat team and their strengths. We've seen them make some great passes, and a lot of their goals came in transition on odd man rushes. So it just depends. Unfortunately, I think for the Rebels, it's looking like it's going to be the end of their season here, unless they do pull out some kind of miracle.
Well, if you are UNLV, the plus side here is that you got
Griesbeck's out of the crease. He's on the bench.
You do get the face-off in the Bobcat zone. So aggressive tactics here from UNLV. Let's see if the gamble pays off. Kozubski pinning his man against the board. And finally around the boards we go. Is picking it up here is Magyar. Still in the Bobcat zone as Malone picks it up. Tried to walk into the slot but was redirected by a host of Bobcats. Finally up and over everyone, but not into the Rebel zone as Asaf was back there to play it.
I remember Jeff Turcotte, LA Hockey, most aggressive coach I've ever seen. He would actually, if there were just 5 seconds in a period and he had the face-off zone, he'd pull his goalie.
Deep and a couple of feet wide, as we probably might see a lot of this in the last 3 minutes.
Kind of towards the point in a basketball game where you just kind of foul to stay in it, except it's opposite. You just try to send it 200 feet just to try to end it.
And there you have a look at the empty net. Giesbrecht on the far side boards. And a shot that was into the pads of an Ohio player, and this will probably do it. And that'll be the hat trick for Harkins. And it'll all but seal the deal for the Ohio Bobcats, who will look to play the winner of Iowa State and Stony Brook tomorrow.
I think Harkins was nervous coming in on that. Did you see how he slowed down and tried to say, don't miss, like the Dallas Stars did?
Yeah,
one time.
I believe that was Sagan who blew it, right?
I'm not quite sure.
We might have to check with our director and
resident Stars producer. Yeah. I think he's nervous because you could hear his teammates yelling, Hattie, as he's going in. That puck's kind of bouncing on him.
Well, normally when you start calling Hattie, that's usually the old curse.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, Plonsky will play it. I'm sure UNLV would love to get one more goal. As all but academically, their season's over. We just got to get down in the last 2 minutes.
It'll be 2 years in a row that Ohio has taken this program out, but I tell you, the fight in UNLV has been just fabulous.
I'll tell you what, the last 2 years, this has been probably one of the more, both have been really enjoyable games as Lamprin gains his own.
Yeah, Jay, I know we had the pleasure to talk about this UNLV team when they visited the University of Utah earlier this year, and you know the amount of success that they've had in just 2 years, you just can only imagine that that's going to continue with the type of style of hockey they play, the way that they'll be able to recruit to Las Vegas, and hopefully as the sport grows down there, the Rebel fans have a lot to look forward to with this UNLV program.
In the last 90 seconds we go as UNLV comes out, breaks out of their own zone, and chips it up ahead. As it looks like that is Kozubski who's down in there. Into the scrum, finally out, and walking out with it was Turnout, but he lost it. Finally out, and now near side for Singley. Singley from a circle, a glove save by Giesbrecht to the last 71 seconds of period number 3.
Yeah, both goalies have been putting on a really good show, and most of those, in the goals that have been scored, UNLV, it looked like it could have been controversial, but the right call was made. Overturned in the booth after they looked at it and then figured out the rules. And again, you got to hand it to the reffing staff here. It's been just outstanding for letting these lads play the game.
A corner we go. Kind of a scrum there, a lazily scrum as we enter the last 60 seconds. Back to Baird. Baird will fire from the point. It was well wide of the net. Let's go to play. This is Robin. Finally up ahead, and I believe that was Toriumi who knifed it up ahead and just get a little shot on it on Thomas. Thomas puts a squeeze on it. To the last 44 we go.
Yeah, the outcome is inevitable here, but again, both programs, we've been treated to just a fabulous game here, and then you just wondered, being the 4th seed, if it was going to be a tight game or if Ohio with that top seed was going to prevail, and all of a sudden with 10 minutes left, they took the game under control. It's almost like that basketball team where, as Ryan referenced, that sometimes you only have to watch the last 5 minutes.
Of course, the Texas Legends of the NBA G League call this arena home. The G League affiliate of the Dallas Mavericks. Flying up ahead and into the skate of a couple of Bobcats players. The last 20 we go. Back behind his own net goes Bagby. Finally up and around as Rudin takes it at the center line. Got it up ahead where Harrison will corral it to the last 9. Excuse me, that wasn't Cameron, that was Salafos.
Yeah, Monday morning, this was a basketball stadium.
And that will do it for this game. Ohio advances, and they will, I'm sure they have some scouting to do tomorrow, but first, the ice bags and the handshake line on what really was a really well-played game.
It was very entertaining, and if you like the good hockey the good style. Again, I love this. We talked about the senior junior. I mean, these are juniors that have played at a high level. They come to these programs as their final hockey career, high competitive. And I enjoy this type of game actually more than a lot of the NCAA, where I'm not saying it's a softer game, but it's not a physical game. This you could just see by the way the kids rush off the bench, get onto the ice. This is like watching a junior program.
Yeah, and this UNLV team deserves to keep their head held up high as guys exchanging hugs before shaking the hands of the Ohio players. An absolute slugfest today, really entertaining, and one of those games where the end score didn't reflect necessarily how close of a game it was and how fun of a game it was to watch. You know, Ohio kind of blowing the doors off of UNLV at the end, but still just an absolute treat of a game, and UNLV can go home with their heads held high, and Ohio can rest up and look forward to their next round. Ohio, I mean, definitely made a statement game today. So,
yeah, and you know they are playing Sunday after they get their day off, awaiting the winner of Iowa State, Stony Brook. The traditional handshake line between teams after a game, especially see it prominent during postseasons after seasons end, and of course. The downside of knowing that you're never going to play with the same group of guys again, and this is just one of the things that come towards the end of the season. But more on that later. We do have to end this broadcast. We thank you for joining us here on the ACHA Network. From Frisco, Texas and the Comerica Center, the final, Ohio advances by the score of 4-1.